Hello, everybody. Welcome back to OSL Season 6. This is the Saturday Games, Day 2. First up, we do have Scarlett versus KaitOkids. We're going to be starting out with Demogorgon on Cold Tower 1, followed up with Scarlett's pick of Unknown on Almond Lake Mine, and then potentially a tiebreaker of Mastermind on Cold Tower 1. Next up will be IMO versus Longbottom, which will be Blight and Suffocation Pit, Nurse on Cold Tower with tiebreaker of Ghoul, and then our final two games will be Ancestor vs Tensei with Cenobite Mastermind and Doctor, and then Flatline vs Peony Dynasty with a Ghoul Mastermind and Oni. I hope we all like the Macmillan Estate, because once again, a running theme, it seems, with a lot of the popular picks this season. We're on Cold Tower and Suffocation Pit for half the night. But before we get too far into the game, I would like to introduce my co-caster. Peaches, how are you this fine weekend, mate?
Dude, I am doing phenomenal. And this is also a great matchup as well. I mean, Scarlett versus KaitOkids, I mean, these are some top two teams here. I mean, they're just both absolutely phenomenal in their own right. And for this matchup, at least coming to the stakes here, if either of these teams lose, they're not out of the bottom four, but whoever wins will potentially move up to the second place spot as it currently stands, at least in the standing. So, a little bit to play for, like so, not really much to lose, but definitely there is some to gain. So taking this first chase onto Thinks here over here behind main, breaking the main door, taking this all the way to the front of main. I think we were going to leave this because main is just way too strong for the Demogorgon. We catch out two of the survivors rotating toward the bottom side here. We have Deja over here at the 4 pallet. This is a pretty strong pallet to use if you can, unless we can glide through and get the down onto them. No, we got the pallet break instead, so this is a pretty solid one. Oh, we got into a 4 lane. That is not very fun. I mean, you get that tag at the very end of those fingernails. Holy crap, Deja's make it over to the shack at least, but not dropping the shack pallet quite yet. Kind of getting caught on the door here. I think if they try to go for the window fall, they will get down, but regardless, they tried to make it to the bottom mid pallet there in front of shack, and that is the down onto them. And a very nice pain res hook to have here as well, and that we have a pretty good gen split up here topside with that 3-1 main and 11. This is looking pretty solid for our killer Norder here, Smunk.
Yeah, he's got some decent gen spread here. Worth noting as well for anyone watching at home, this is a ping set, so we have an Asia team versus an OCE team. So there is a little bit of ping, so Demogorgon's hits might be a little bit funky there. Lemon taking your tag and running immediately all the way over to Shaq, trying to die as far away from as possible from both the Hook Survivor and his generators. We don't want to be dying next to any actives or any potential unhooks here, but we are just going to go beeline straight for Shaq. I wouldn't be so surprised if we played super safe there. Try to throw the Shaq pallet. We do throw the Shaq pallet. We try to shred is what I meant to say. Unfortunately, not quite touching the shred enough to break that pallet. We'll just be portaling down, trying to cut off here. We're very keen on a tunnel out. It does seem here on the side of Nortor. We find the generator at 3, but it looks like Dage has double backed into the teleport and gone all the way over to Shaq, leaving Nortor kind of in the dust now. He's lost his tunnel out a little bit, unless he's clocked in that they might have rotated all the way over to Shaq. He could still commit to the tunnel out here, but based off the HUD, it might be Dage resetting somewhere, but no, we do find Deja over here by the shack. Still have access to the shack pad, which we've broken right about now with the Demogorgon shred there. Zones him away from the shack here. Very strong resource. We have a hill next to it, unfortunately, so we don't have any really strong tiles. We might have a rock filler right in front of the cold tower here that we do, and if we break this power correctly, we should be able to zone them more into the mid-map and down 3 side. This forces Dage to play towards the active generator, or he needs to try and live on this 4 lane for as long as humanly possible. 4 lanes, from my experience anyway, aren't that great versus Demogorgon. You know, it's a lane tile, right? So it's got these really long straight arrays. It makes it really nice for the Demogorgon to go for a bit of a zone here and kind of funnels you into this area, which makes shredding really easily. But we do pop 2 gens for Jage's second stage here. So it's about even at the moment. Keep in mind, Demogorgon is one of our tier 5 killers. This is a lower tier killer. We're only really expecting like 6 stages on this killer, despite all of the really strong perks that we have brought. We have excellent perks like Pain Res, Turn Back the Clock, Pop Goes the Weasel, Corrupt Intervention, 4 excellent slowdown perks here, but of course, 3 out of 4 of those we kind of need to get hooks for in order to activate them, and Demogorgon's chases historically aren't too long, Peaches.
Yeah, I have to agree with you, although we did get that hook onto Dage in the basement, so pretty solid hook location, although we are going pretty far away from it, so maybe not, like you're saying, this is a low to mid stage type killer, so going for the freshest might be the best play to go for, unless Norder wants to go back to Shaq and maybe catch out the Savior going for Dage, but honestly the survivors could probably just camp, keep sitting at the gens, but no, there is a survivor that was able to stealth in there and get the unhook. I believe that is our Vish here. Vish got the unhook, and I believe we will commit this chase onto them. Get that fresh hook, get the pain res going. Unless, yeah, because I mean, Dage is just sending it to the top side, and I mean, like we've seen previously. I mean, the main is just such a strong resource to use against basically any killer, and they do make it to the car pallet toward the Levin side, but they opt not to drop the pallet. I don't think they make it to the window. They can try flaring to at least prolong the down just a little bit. They go for the door, and we do get the down. So we do have the tunnel at 2 generators remaining, and we have an injure onto things. Oh, seen a firecracker coming, trying to get a drive-by save there with that, but not quite able to connect. So yeah, we will see the death of Dage at 2 generators remaining, and we do see the reset happening in the background. But with that chase, though, I don't think there's any 3 gens to really be held. I mean, we have this gen at Shack, the one right out in front of it, the kind of like bottom mid gen, and we have 1 and main. Yeah, so there's not really much of a 3 gen, so I think Norder can just kind of go Survivor to Survivor, collect the fresh hooks, and honestly set their team up for a good result here, Smunk.
Yeah, we have all survivors healthy as well. Still plenty of resources on the map to play around with. We haven't really used anything really around the main at all. I was expecting a head-on actually for Deja at main building. Maybe that's what they were trying to play for, but our head-on play wasn't able to make it there in time for that head-on. But no, we just didn't have any support for Deja, and unfortunately he got M2 zoned by the godfather of M2 zoning, the Demogorgon. But we do find out this is Lemon here at the edge map, unfortunately being zoned away from any potential resources, although we do have a little straightaway here into the window, but very patient there from Norto will result in the tag coming through onto Lemon there. And if we're able to get this down, that'd be fantastic, as we do have a pain resonance at 12, and we've locked eyes with Lemon. Lemon's located at another 4 lane, unfortunately for him, but we do have this rock fielder to play around here and buy our team just a little bit more time. Duxgen is about nearly halfway through. I'm not too sure what Vish is doing, but we will be getting that down onto Lemon here. That will be a fourth hook and a second fresh of the game, where it looks like Vish is all the way over there at Shack, just splitting. We do have a 2-2 gen split there, so it does make sense for one survivor to be on one side of the map, one survivor on the other, and just apply pressure to the 2 different angles of the map there. But Painter is coming through, and one of the highest progress gen was that might have been the generator over by 1. Duck doing an excellent job here, stealthing on a tree at edge map there. Applying pop goes the wheels to 1, actually, so that Pain Res must have hit Shack, actually, and we have a portal set up already there, going all the way over to Shack there. And unhook happening straight away on Lemon. We're not letting him cook at all. We're ripping the unhook as soon as Demogorgon teleports away. And I would not be surprised if Norto's play here is just to go for his fresh hooks, get those pain reses, and get those points up for his team, make their lives nice and easy. But still, very nice stun coming out there from Vish onto Nortor. But going for a bit of an M2 fake, not quite coming through. We send the M2 down, getting the tag onto Vish. Vish is forced to rotate down to the mid map here. We have an eye filler, but these eye fillers are pretty not great against the Demogorgon due to his shred. But if we're able to get a little pre-throw there, that might buy him a little bit more time there to transition over to a much stronger resource. He has another crate filler in front of the main building here. We're just going to be trying to play around that, buying as much time as possible for our team, and he is living for the love of the game. We see in Killer Instinct there in the background on 1, so we know that we're committing 1 there. That would have been LV Duck, but Vish doing an excellent job here. He does not make the window. Unfortunately, the ping will have something to say about that young man, and that will be the 3rd fresh hook and painters of the trial here, Peaches.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I know some things, but even that looked horrendous. I'm sure Vish is not happy about that hit, but Norder definitely feeling themselves right now. Getting that 3rd pain res. I mean, we saw that Killer Instinct on 1, so we have a general idea of where all our survivors are at. Like, so we have following some of the scratch marks around main. I believe they went around backside, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, I'm not entirely too sure exactly where they went, but we do find them eventually behind main. That they were. I was right. Ooh, with that dash, they were able to cut him off in the palace, so this should be an M1 into the palace stun as well. Norder absolutely abusing that ping, and we get that 2-tap onto LV Duck, and we should be happy with maybe taking our fresh, or more than likely Unlimited should rotate back to get the unhook onto Vish and continue this trial onward, but I think we cut them off in time. Yeah, we see both of them. They do get the unhook in time, but we get the shred onto Lemon, and we're going to continue the chase on Lemon because I think Vish still has a little bit of BT to work with, working around the Orman tile here. This is getting really dangerous here for the side of Scarlett. We know Vish is making their way over to pick up Duck and then try to work our way at the gens, and all we have left is this, just the rocks in the tree, and yeah, that will be a down onto Lemon here. So yeah, Norder is in such a dominant position. Like you were highlighting earlier, normally we see the low to mid, sometimes high tier results against the Demogorgon, but Norder might pull out a 4K2 here, Smoke.
Yeah, there's a lot of. Ooh, that's a really unfortunate find there for Scarlett. LV Duck going down right in front of the hook here. Vish about halfway through their generator, but Duck is fresh. We do have that pain res in front main. I am curious to see if Nortor takes it. Looks like he's going for a default hook though, not really taking the pain res onto Duck and just throwing him straight up on a hook there. Nortor might even just play it super safe and camp both these hooks just to secure it, and they'll play around that 4K1, but he might just go all the way to Shaq because he knows it's being woke. We see the tunnel coming out. I dare say the comm from Duck will be coming out for Vish to get the hell out of Dodge before he dies. But turn back the clock, unfortunately, will be interrupting that generator, and that will be a very comfortable 4K2 on the side of KaitOkids. An explosive start for the Demogorgon set, an exceptional result there, all things considered. Demogorgon, as we said previously, usually getting between 6 and 8 stages, sometimes even lower, due to not being that great of a killer. But Nortor, after his tunnel out, was able to exude so much pressure on the side of Scarlett that they just weren't able to claw it back up. It sort of fell out of their hands, and Nortor ran away with it. Like, Scarlett gave him an inch, and he took a mile, very handsomely too, so very well played.
Every set, he's a phenomenal killer. Well, supposedly he stabbed his hand cooking, so very unfortunate for that. But so far, his team, at least on the killer Norder, did a phenomenal job. And KaitOkids in general is just a phenomenal team. So I think they can definitely get this win con of beat the win con, or at least the tie of 4K2. I mean, that is a crazy, crazy result to get on the Demogorgon here, Smunk.
It's definitely a phenomenal result there. Like, you can't really get better than that on Demogorgon. A killer that historically just doesn't really do that great on especially on Cold Tower 2 with how many pallets. But definitely got a tall order here for our killer player here, whose name I can't see for some reason, so I don't actually know who it is. But I'm assuming it's Dage. It is Dage. Excellent. Running the titular, Demogorgon add-ons with the Barb's classes and the other one. Similar build to what we saw Nortor running. However, we have dropped Pop Goes the Bizzle and Turn Back the Clock in favor of Eruption and Bamboozle, something a bit more classic. And Bamboozle should help us out with that chase just a little bit, and of course Eruption, always a good pick to throw on a build, just due to the innate slowdown in information it can afford you on your downs. But taking the chase onto Nortor, our Demogorgon for the last game over here at the 11 corner. We're just going to be taking the chase as far away from the active gens as possible, all the way into the Corrupt, giving our team the perfect choice for whatever the gen they want to work here. And an excellent stun there from Nortor. Dage not quite able to connect with that M1 short swing there through the power. I think he was hoping for the swing through the power to get both the resource and the tag, but not quite making it there. And coming to the chase here at the Almond Tile, we will be committing to Nortor here. Readying our shred, that should be a tag. A fantastic shred there from Dage will force Nortor down into main here, which he needs to wrap around the backside. And looking at the HUD there, it does look like Sumpeng and Naros are doubling one generator, while Two Teacher solos another here. But looks like we're just optimizing to try and die in this one corner. But no, we do have a resource next to the window here, and it's a pretty good power, all things considered. Dage going for a very ambitious shred. They're not quite able to make it, but the medium blow from Nortor will result in his end. That's a bit of a ping hit if I've ever seen it, but a very good start there for Dage. We do pop one gen for that down, however, and that's a great pain res right there, smack bang in the front of main. You can't really ask for a better hook than that, Peaches.
Absolutely. I'm sorry, that was an insane hit there. But yeah, Dage going down toward the bomb side, trying to scout out who is around, which gens the survivors are prioritizing. We see Survivor looking, I believe they were running toward the one side. They're trying to come in, expecting Dage to go a little bit further down, but not far enough to where they can safely get the unhook. I believe that is Naros here. We hear the window vault, so I believe they were inside main, going back out. Seeing the scratch marks going, yeah. They're around the one side. You see some scratch marks on the car, but URC, Two Teacher, and Sumpeng on two separate generators. Sumpeng's gen is very close to popping, although we are teleporting toward the bottom, which I believe that does interrupt that gen just for a little bit. So we get that eruption going, and yeah, we're gonna commit this chase onto them. We know if we leave them at this point, we try going for the tunnel out, they're more than likely going to pop that gen in time, and unless they can of course get a fast chase. But KaitOkids survivors are. They're extremely difficult to down, and especially when something is able to make it over to Shaq, get the blind and the Shaq pallet drop down, buying a lot of time for their teammates, and they make it back over to 5. I mean, this 4 lane is not the strongest tile, or I guess a very oddly shaped tile here isn't very strong to use against the Demogorgon, so you use some nice mind games and you run straight into the arms of our killer. But with that chase, Two Teacher is going to be able to pop the second generator, and I don't think there's any pain reses around that they can make. So I mean, this is still not a bad hook spot. It is right next to that active generator in front of Shaq, but the survivors are absolutely on top of their game right now, and it's just incredibly hard for Dage to find a moment to go for that tunnel out. Because I mean, I think if there is a world that Dage is able to get this win con, or like you just pointed out earlier, go for the more reasonable tie con, we need to bring this down to a 3v1 here.
Yeah, you can't really afford to spread out your hooks a little bit too much, and we've gone, ooh, very nice short swing through the power there onto 2Teacher, getting the resource and the tag onto 2Teacher, also interrupting him who was probably going for the save there, so that's a great find for Deja. It does look like he's very content to commit to 2Teacher here and potentially get a down in his 3-gen, but no, he's actually bouncing off of 2Teacher and looking to get a tag onto Steinaros. This is a great way to build up some pressure on the survivors here, as now it forces Nortor, the other survivor who's hooked, to try and rotate for a save. If we're able to interrupt that, that would be a great boon to us, but we do see something getting pulled in the background there as we commit to a chase onto Steinaros, and that shred should spell the end of him there. Not quite able to make the fast fault on that window there, and looks like we might be going for a save. We thought about it, but no. Instead, we're just going for the pain resonance here at the front of main, I dare say, which is, again, not a bad play. We have 2 injured survivors, so they will need a reset, or else you sort of risk that snowball that we saw Scarlett kind of fall victim to a little bit at the end of their set, but pain res going in on what I think is a level 1, I think that was, the pain resonance affecting, and we also see 2Teacher and Sunpeng resetting each other in the background. It is very close to where Deja is currently, more so in the corner where he's looking right now. If he's able to catch maybe a hint or a whisper of them resetting, that'd be a great boon, but no. Unfortunately, we do just get the reset through onto 2Teacher, pull coming through onto Steinaros from, I believe that was Nortor here, and that can be the chase around main. This is not where you want to be if you're Demogorgon. It's a very, very rough place to be. But no, we're just going to commit to the chase here, it seems. Unfortunately, going for the shred onto the wall, they're not quite able to connect. We instead get plus 10 brick as we hit the wall. Unfortunate, but just trying to locate one of the survivors. This is Nortor. We see Sunpeng and 2Teacher finish resetting in the background, and they should be on gens at any moment now. But Nortor doing a really good job pathing here, delving back into the Ormond tile and rotating around main. We are just camping that pallet. Oh, very good patience there, but and one swing from Dage will come out, connected to a tag onto Nortor here, forcing him to go towards main building. And he's got this car tile to play around, but it's not super safe against Demogorgon. This is one of those tiles that you can kind of slide around. Unfortunately, Dage just kind of hit the hood there, kind of bugged it up the tech a little bit, but Nortor also has access to a pretty strong window on main here. It still connects to this power that is still standing, but Nortor will instead be taking the distance away from the 3-gen at main building, and instead Deja will be switching into a committed chase onto 2Teacher, who is, I believe, one of our final freshers. We just haven't used one of the pain resonance, that's right, because we didn't have one over by Shaq. Unfortunately, not quite able to connect there with the shred. We're rotating away from main into the mid-map a little bit more. Another gen pops in the background. We are now at the Tycon here, and we're going for another very ambitious shred from Deja, but unfortunately does not connect onto 2Teacher, and just keeping it going here, just trying to get that pain res, but another missed shred. 2Teacher's playing out of his mind right now, but submitting to the M1 there, he will be taking that tag and rotating away from the main building side of the map here and moving more up towards the Shack end of things, trying to play around this filler tile here. It's actually a little bit of a god rock, but a cheeky little red light mind game from Dage there will mean that we get the M1 down right next to a pain res there as we see Steinaros finally reset from, I think that was clean break in the background there. And with that Shack gen popping, that will be the win towards KaitOkids for the Demogorgon set here, Peaches.
Yeah, phenomenally played by the survivors here. I mean, like I said, I mean, they're Nortor Holy. I'm sorry. Nortor put up such a fantastic result for their survivor team. I mean, normally, I think in most cases, we would be saying Dage is looking pretty solid. I mean, 4 freshes on the board. I mean, that's not too shabby for the demo, but just given the results, it just isn't quite enough. And we lost that tunnel out as well. Not able to get down to that 3v1. I mean, with all 4 survivors saying we can just easily split the gens, however, which way we want. Trying to get past something to try and get the injure onto T-Teacher, going for the M1 and then missing it, and something coming in for the buyback. He's just really trying to curve the shred and try to get that down onto the 2Teacher, and eventually we do get it. Something not quite able to get the buy block, and we will just go for the pick and try to get at least a step closer to that tunnel, because even though that match has been won and given over to KaitOkids, we still want to play for the best result possible going into their set, which is like as you pointed out earlier, the unknown on Ormond Lake Mine, which is definitely, I think, definitely going to be in a lot higher of a favor for Scarlett, as LV Duck is pretty cracked on the unknown. We do get the down onto Norda, and we do pop that final gen in Deja's face, but still, this is a pretty solid. Again, this would normally be a pretty solid result for the Demogorgon here, but like I said, just unfortunately, the Survivor side was not able to keep up with the Survivor side with KaitOkids, and like I said, that Norda was just playing out of their mind. So we'll take this chase onto Sunpeng. They're trying to open up the gate, going for that dash in forgetting that the pallet is not there anymore. We missed the injury there, but we get it after the second, after the vault, trying to make their way to the door. I don't think there's anyone that can help and save them. There is Ace around here, but I don't think they can get in between them and the killer in time. So we get that down on Simping, trying to go for the dash onto 2Teacher, flaring him just a little bit, trying to go back into the match. They want to get something out the door. Like, the game is already won, but they still want to get everyone out, get the injury onto onto Norder as well. Again, a lot of these survivors mix up, get the down onto 2Teacher. They're trying to pick up Simping, and we still have Norder and Naro still in the game. They're still looping around this Orma tile and right in front of the gate, going back and forth. They're just doing a great job going back and forth, defeating both of these down survivors, trying to keep them from leaving out of the exit gates. We find the Norder here, trying to pick up 2Teacher, but not quite. Trying to pick up 2Teacher, but not quite able to get that down onto something as well. And now all that is left is Naro standing over here toward 4, trying to pick up one of these survivors around this pallet and able to path back over to the Orma tile. Naros just will not die. KaitOkids survivors want to get everyone up and out, trying to get the best result possible, trying to play for the pallet save. We do get the pick, but we get the M1 instead. Can Naros make it to any other survivor? Can they pick up anyone else? I don't believe so. I think everyone else still has to fully recover unless we are a head-on survivor. I saw the locker, or heard the locker animation, but I didn't see him go in, and eventually Dej is finally able to get the final down onto Naros, but holy crap, KaitOkids was not making that easy for Dej at all here, Smunk. What a play.
Not at all. We greeted it all for Sunpang's survival, but unfortunately it will just seem that we want 2Teacher actually, apparently. We have a vendetta, it seems, but we greeted it all for Sunpang's survival, but unfortunately it is paid for in the rest of our blood, and it does look like, unfortunately, we will be getting 3 kills here. I think Nortor gets out, so it should be 11 stages for Fresh, which is an acceptable result for Demogorgon. Obviously, I don't think KaitOkids would have really done what they did if they hadn't already won the set, obviously. Deja obviously can't make the hook here, so he's just going to have to drop, and Mori Mrs. Sunpang here, but that would still be 11 stages for Fresh, which, again, fantastic result there on the Demogorgon. Can't argue with the points. But win will go towards KaitOkids, as they did accumulate more points there. And it's going to come down to the unknown set, which unknown now. We know Duck is a menace, a demon, some might say, on the unknown. We've seen this man perform historically, so I'm very excited to see how he plays here on the unknown. But on the side of KaitOkids, we have 2 teachers, Steinaros, Nortor, and Sunpang. Now, of course, I'd like to reiterate that Gunther, a fan favorite of KaitOkids, unfortunately will not be playing this week, as he has unfortunately stabbed his hand. He ordered a $10 Cisco knife off Wish, was playing around with it, it broke, and stabbed himself in the palm, so now he has stitches and can't play. Unfortunate for Gunther, but we hope to see him back soon when his hand's recovered from such a grievous injury. But going for a bit of an ambitious shot there, Duck with the UVX. Looking at his build as well, pretty stock standard stuff, Eruption, Turn Back the Clock, Pain Res, and Corrupt Intervention. I can't see his outings, but I'm going to take a wild guess to say it's probably Footprint Cast and Game Cartridge, because I don't know why you would ever run anything else. But oh, look at that. Yes, it is. And we're continuing the chase here as we start a chase onto Nortor over by this little tower here. I think this is 11, if I'm not mistaken. I don't really know my callouts on like mine too well, but getting the UVX tag there onto Nortor, including an M1 there, pre-throwing that main building pallet there, dropping down the stairs there. It's not the best main building pallet in the world, especially against a ranged killer like Unknown, but we're being very patient with the UVX, unfortunately hitting the little bar there, not quite able to bounce it into Nortor just yet. He should be able to cleanse it at any moment now, but we've just gotten our power back there. We might even be able to get the down right before he's able to get the cleanse, and that's at 1, which is a pretty good death spot, all things considered, for Unknown, and it does look like we are 3 splitting, I believe, here on the side of KaitOkids Peaches. So a very good start, a very even start, I would say, for both teams here.
Yeah, I think I'd have to agree with you. Pretty, yeah, even start. Like, I don't think one side is winning over the other quite yet. Although with this TP, we kind of jump scared something a little bit off this generator. Not quite able to connect with the UVX. We apply our eruption, and I believe we will go back to main just to make sure that no one is coming around for the save, or at least if they do, they will be met with resistance going up the stairs. So you're not quite going for the pallet break quite yet. Maybe we'll get the UVX on someone that's coming in for the save. Stay in place to get our TP here ready to go. So maybe LV Duck can go a little bit further away from main, apply pressure elsewhere, and when the unhook does eventually happen, they can just safely teleport back and be back to put on the pressure. But no, we do see Naros here Naros able to get the unhook, although we do get the UVX onto both survivors. So this can be a pretty dangerous game to play here. We get the UVX onto Norder once again. We break the BT. They are making it all the way toward the bottom side of the map, at least trying to make it over there. We just go for a snipe, not quite able to connect onto Norder, and with that, they will make it all the way to 7. This is a fantastic death spot to go for, and they are able to path over to 8, not able to connect with the second UVX on Norder, and they were able to cleanse it, not go for the power drop. Wait, up 50s, but eventually Norder still goes down. But this is a fantastic spot for Norder to die. It's away from everything else. It's away from the generators, although we do see the aura of one of the survivors over at 10 working away at that generator, and we have that TP there to cut him off from. Oh, that is a ton of progress here, and it's right, the chase is happening right next to the hook. We go for the M1, and we get that pounce done through the inner. Oh my goodness gracious, and we get the UVX. Very well played by Duck, bringing that pressure back onto his side of the map here, and this is a fantastic chase here. If he's able to connect this, I'm gonna throw my chair out the window. Okay, he's not going, okay, he was going for it and he didn't connect. Okay, my window is safe, but those are some fantastic snipes here from LV Duck Smunk.
Yeah, he's doing exceptional play so far on Unknown. We popped 2 gens, however. Stay Narrows applying the FTP there to try and keep Nortor alive. Unfortunately, missing 2 swings there. Excellent TP from Duck, though. This should be able to net him an M1, but oh, he's being a bit overzealous with its power there. But M1 tag does come through for Nortor as he runs through the underground here. Not a very good power there. We're just going to keep holding that W key, try and make a good bit of distance between us and the Uncle Known. But coming to the chase here is LV Duck. He's hot on the tails of Nortor. We have 2 injured survivors on the side of KaitOkids. One of them, Sunpang, is also injured and infected. So if we pop him anywhere, we should be able to get a very comfortable down. But Nortor doubling back up the stairs there as LV Duck jumps down from the railing. We're taking that head-on, potential head-on locker, nice and wide. We don't want to be risking that at all. And a bit of a staring contest here. Excellent patience there from the Duck, but Nortor moving away from the path there, dodging the UVX. He's on a tear. He's trying to buy as much time for his team as humanly possible, and at this pallet, he should be going down with an M1, but no, we miss. A gen is done in the background. Another gen is done in the background here. Nortor's making a mountain out of a molehill with this pallet here. Oh, Duck's being a little bit too respectful with these pallets. He's got to get a bit freaky with it and go for some monkey swings, but we go for the TP, giving Nortor enough time to double back into the pallet throw, going for another ball. We have a hit take potentially here from 2 Teacher, our final healthy survivor here, as it looks like he's trying to move in position to take a down for Nortor, but Nortor, he's still alive, just barely hanging on by a thread, but we have our UVX going for a little bit of a fake, but no, we commit to the shot, get that infection onto Nortor, but we need this down now or never, because KaitOkids are cranking motors in the background, going for a very nice UVX tag there that will result into the down onto Nortor. Finally, that should have happened a very long time ago, but that's bought KaitOkids an insane amount of time to work on generators and reset here. But oh, we found the reset with a very handsome TP there. Sunpang with a very active gen over by 1, but applying that turn back the clock there onto the 1 generator. Sunpang can no longer work it anymore as he is both injured and infected. We don't want to be caught out there at all. M1 tag onto 2 Teacher there, doing the hard work of that reset, but we're moving away from that 1 generator. If we get the comms and Duck is far enough away, we should be able to double that gen with Stay Narrows and Sunpang to get it done. I believe Stay Narrows is broken due to clean break as well, but no, we are just going back to that generator 2, and it is indeed clean break that will be healing our near play here as soon as possible. But Sunpang, if he's caught out here, it could mean bad for business. We don't want to be dying on our active generator. We have Eruption in our back pocket if we're able to kick this generator, and then that way when we do get our down, it buys us just a little bit more time, just a bit of a smidge, and Duck knows that there's someone nearby. He just doesn't know who. Sayonara's clean break has finished healing him in the background there after 60 seconds. 45 seconds when Chorus of Sin comes out, but for now 60. But now we're at a bit of a standstill here. Everything's kind of slowing down. We're getting some resets in on our survivors because we know that we can't really pressure these gens injured, so we're just taking it nice and slow, getting our resets, reevaluating the situation. Oh my god, Staynaros is hiding behind a box like 2 feet away from the active generator, and he hasn't been found yet, but these gens also aren't great for Duck, so he does need to move away from this high prog generator just to make sure the other 2 aren't getting split there. But if Duck's cheeky, he might be able to find Stay Naros, and that he does. That puts KaitOkids on the back foot a little bit, but a bit of a wide swing there from Naros will mean that he won't take the infection, and he's just holding W, even if it does mean taking a tag. But no, he's opting to try and use this power here. Ambitious M1 swing there from Stay Naros, so from Duck results in a stun, and that will buy Stay Naros so much distance here, Peach.
Yeah, that is a lot of distance. And that bought so much time. Look at that. Something is already working away at that generator, and in the, I guess, a 9-hole, you can call it. There's a lot of progress in there. We don't have a turn back the clock. I think we should apply the eruption to it. I mean, there's a whole, like, there's a lot of progress, but I think this one at 2 has a little bit more than that one. That's probably why they didn't apply the eruption. But I still think it's worth taking the time to apply it, just in case it gets, these chases go just a tad bit long. You can rely on getting it down and at least get that regression and buy enough time to get back to that generator. We do apply the UVX onto Stan Arrows, and yes, we do eventually teleport back to 10, and we do catch out 2 Teacher over here trying to work away at that generator. We will apply the UVX once again, and still not applying the eruption though, so it means any of the survivors that they really wanted to get a little cheeky with, that they could work on the generator right next to the chase, but of course that is dangerous on its own. Yeah, we do see LB Duck looking at that generator, going for another, get the injury on the Teacher, go for the UVX, the Teacher able to cleanse it just in time. Something jumped on that gen right away. Yes, look at that. That's exactly what I was talking about. It is a risky play, because of course, if LV Duck is able to connect some of those UVXs, we get the injuries going, and we could see a potential snowball. But something, oh, nice UVX hit with there. But with all that time being bought, with these chases going too long, we will see the final generator pop. Very well played by our survivors here. Now, LB Duck really needs to get these stages going. We're only at 3 stages on the Unknown. I know Unknown is known for being harmless, but even this is a bit too low for the Unknown. We get the entry through Naros, getting hit through the pallet, and we get to hit the stone as well. But this is a pretty, not the strongest foul you play against the Unknown. But so far, St. Naros is playing it perfectly, playing their check spots, and LB Duck going from the top ropes, trying to catch him out a little bit. I think he just went around behind mid. Yes, we see going straight through main, trying to cut through 11, trying to get to their teammates, trying to get some sort of buy block, some hit tank, something to protect them. We do get the injury onto Sumping. This is where it gets really, really dangerous. LB Duck trying to at least secure the 6 stages to fresh up, but go for the snipe. We do connect. Can we make it to the end game? Wait, are they gonna get out?
No.
Oh, we are able to get the pick just in time, so we at least will get that second fresh. But I think, given how deep into the gate and how close this hook is, Swunk, I think our survivors are going to go for this.
Absolutely, like, Unknown can't really stop a double save very reliably unless you're already infected. So it's just kind of a matter of time for 2Teacher and Stainaris to not bungle it up and get in a good position here to go for that double save and get Sunpeng at the door. So expected here is that Duck will be leaving the trial with 4 stages and 2 fresh results. Just that mid to end game there after the tunnel out onto Nortor, it just kind of fell apart for him, and especially the final chase from Nortor bought KaitOkids so much time, and then afterwards in the 3v1 with the 3 gens that was remaining, Duck just wasn't able to make a down happen for such a long, at all, until like right now, right? And it was just very rough for him to try and recover from that. Just couldn't reliably get the chases, and then want to commit too much time as well, because of course you can't just hard commit to someone in case they do pop the gens, because you want to try and get the best result humanly possible. We say the M1 coming through, are they on to stay? No, but we body blocked the prop! Oh no, KaitOkids, I just said you can't bungle it up, but we're bungling it! We've bungled it properly, and now we have to try and get a reset if we want to get Sunpeng at the door. Or the much safer play would be to just take our 6 stage 2 fresh and go out the door. But it looks like Duck, he's getting a little bit greedy here. He's looking for 2Teacher here. He wants to get a 3rd fresh hook potentially, but I don't know if this door at 1 is open. We have a hallucination. 2Teacher's too busy staring down LB Duck a little bit to actually try and look at the hallucination, but thankfully he's just taken the power bot and rotated around back main to try and go for the other open door here. But he's got a lot of distance off that power break. We have hallucination to try and cut him off. It's not in the best spot, but it does buy us a bit more distance onto 2Teacher, and Infection coming through is great. Unknown's Golden is only 6 seconds, so we should be able to very reliably get this down if we can hit this shot. We need to be hitting it. We see the UVX come through. We got it! We kind of griefed the hell out of our team. We're going for a cheeky heal tech. Sunpeng goes down here, but we can't heal tech this, I don't think. Maybe Sunpeng's trying to crawl on top of Steve to try and swap it out. It's a bit awkward. Oh, we picked it up. We got 2Teacher, and Sunpeng's out the door, so that will be 3 fresh hooks. I think that makes it 7 stages. Am I doing math right? 7?
Yes, you're
7
correct.
stages.
7
so 3
stages.
fresh, 7. Way better result than what we...
Very well played at the end of that matchup. It was looking pretty horrendous for the side of Scarlett, but LB Duck able to get those snipes and able to pick up the fresh hook in the end, in the gate very well played by them. Of course, yeah, we've swapped sides now. We got Scarlett on the survivor side. We got KaitOkids on the killer, and we will see what they can do. And once again, just want to throw it out there. Normally, we would see Gunther on the killer here, but thankfully, I was getting mugged in the alleyway, and I was getting ready to be stabbed. And Gunther put his hand out, and was able to catch the knife for me. So thank you, Gunther, for saving my life. And now I'll be able to cast your game here. But yeah, this is a. What do you think about the? I'm a very big stickler for the Wretched Fate on killers that aren't S tier. What do you every time I cast a game with and I see Wretched Fate, I just get the I don't know how I feel about this. What do you think about the perks you guys who get the chase going, Swung?
Well, effectively, Wretched Fate, I don't know, it's just like, it's a good passive slowdown on your obsession, right? Obviously, it has to be on the obsession. Unfortunately, a part of the HUD bug is we don't know who the obsession is. It'll be someone. Ideally, it's not Duck, because that's going to be a tunnel out. But there are usually, in my opinion, better totems to run. We see a fantastic head on there coming out from Lemon, though, buying Duck a good bit of time as well, while Nortor drops down through main and tries to take a chase here. He might even swap on to Lemon if he feels like, but looks like he's just going to be dropping the chase here and rotating away to the active generators. But in terms of Wretched Fate, I don't know. I feel like running more active slowdown might be good, but Unknown is one of those killers where his chases can take a while because he's very volatile in how he plays. And he can get anywhere from between like 4 stages to 4K2s. He's a very insane kill. That's an insane UVX from Nortor. Double infection on Vish and Dage. Excellent work there, but now we need to try and get that follow-up injury. We do see Vish here at the edge map. UVX not quite getting through with the tag as we just sort of drifted to the right there and managed to dodge that. And we have about a smidgen of an infection left, and then it will be cleansed here. So unfortunately not quite able to get that UVX injury onto Vish here. And this first chase, this first injury is taking quite a while. And it looks like Dage and Lemon are going to be able to complete a generator without much issue, without even a injury coming through, and with that infection we might even be able to follow up for hopefully a injury on Vish. But as I was saying, as we can see as well, chases with Unknown can take quite some time, and oh god, we're lagging. We've traced a record. What was that? To dodge the UVX. But with Wretched Fate active now, we have one survivor that kind of has to find the generator, or else their generator is going to take a third longer to complete. And you can't really have that, especially because you want to be 3-splitting as much as you can to get as many gens done as fast as you can. But so it's not a bad choice, although I don't know. I feel like maybe there could be other better things to run. But continuing the chase here onto Vish, we get to get an injury, and Dage, Duck, and Lemon are doing what I think is 3 different generators here. M1 tag coming through onto Vish, that will be a stun as well onto Nortor, but unfortunately I don't think we're going to be able to get that infection through the wall. They're a bit switched on. If you're scrimming against Duck all the time, you're going to be pretty switched on against the Unknown, but good vault there from Vish, forces him down towards these sort of pipes over by the shack here. But just coming to the chase, we hear an active generator there in the background, going for the UVX infection that comes through. Unfortunately, we've just run into the Unknown's awaiting arm, so that will be a down onto Vish as Duck's gen is very close to being done. But I think that's Duck's gen over there that we just shot the UVX out, unless I'm just completely mistaken there. But very rough start here for Nortor, considering he needs 8 stages as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I took a quick peek around. Dage is the obsession currently, so he is the one that has the Wretched Fate onto them right now. LV Duck's gen is about to pop very momentarily. I'm not sure who was working on this generator. I think I think Lemon was nearby. Yeah. I'm sorry. I have spectator privileges. I'm able to go around it a little bit better. Lemon was working around that generator at 8. We do see the main gen pop. LV Duck's gen does pop. Dage's gen is on the way. I think he was working at 1. Yes, we do see him trying to go behind the tile, trying not to get hit with the UVX, but you know, right away he's gonna be hopping right back on it. And of course, with this hook, we can also actively point out the hex that is right there in front of the hook, so you'll be able to tell Dage, or tell the survivors, hey, this is where it is, and then all that Dage won't be hindered any longer. But taking the chase onto Vish here, really just gonna make this thing last just a little bit longer. I mean, although it is a fantastic chase, we will see. I don't think Dage's gen is going to pop quite yet. Like I said, that Wretched Fate is actually coming in pretty clutch here for Nortor. If he's able to get back and TP over toward main, he might be able to commit. Or sorry, he's working on. Oh, I'm completely wrong. I'm sorry. He's working on 1. I don't know what the heck I am saying. That's my bad. But we will see that gen pop going toward 8. We did see Lemon trying to work away at that, which means Duck more than likely is rotating for the save onto Vish. But so far, Scarlett is on track to potentially winning this set. They're playing this phenomenally. Their comms are on point. Their rotations look pretty solid, although we get a nice little UVX onto Lemon there at 8. We do teleport back to Shack. We want to cut off anyone from potentially getting the unhook onto Vish here. We And we do see Duck trying to cleanse one of the TPs here. I believe they will be the ones that will try to go for the trade or try to get the unhook onto Beach, unless the survivors opt to just sit the gens. I mean, that is also a play to be had. I mean, there isn't any 3 gens that I can see. I mean, we have this one at was it Shack 7 and 8, and then I guess there is something to be held toward the bomb side. We do get the Dage does trade the hook, and we get the UVX onto Beach, but yeah, we're not gonna get. We don't want the painters quite yet. We want to get this 3v1 as soon as possible because unknown is the harmless for a reason. They cannot hold up the 4v1 quite well as we saw in the previous trial. We go for the UVX, and we do get it down onto Beach. Very nice shot through the pallet, and this we will see Beach leaving the trial at 2 generators remaining. Someone's gonna have to rotate to pick up Dage, and I believe, yes, that is Duck. We saw the healing animation on the side, and Lemon pops that 4th generator, but Norder's actually looking in a pretty solid position here, Smunk. We got 2 injuries and 1 healthy.
Yeah, we actually got the down there onto Dage as well. We see Duck going into the Shack too with Vish dead. Duck in his game wasn't really in this position because he wasn't able to get a... Oh no, he was able to get the tunnel there, but he wasn't able to, you know, follow up that tunnel there with a lot of momentum. But Nortor here is able to do so pretty handsomely with Lemon being injured and infected too. We could snowball this into 8 stages very comfortably, and it entirely depends on how our chases go here. If we can get some short chases going, this would be a great boon for Nortor. We got that basement hook too, and we got this 1 generator over here by this sort of tower, I suppose, and then the other 2 closer to the basement hook, going for a bit of a long-range shot there on this generator. This has also not got a ton of progress here. Loud noise notification by that tower too. I think that was the power being pre-dropped. That it was going for a very ambitious infection, but no, we should be teleporting back to the basement here. We do find Duck going for the save, which makes a lot of sense, and it does look like Dage is trying to take a hit take for him potentially, but going for the infection here, we do miss the UVX onto Dage and Duck, but they're both injured and actively moving away from the generators now. Of course, we know in the background here, Duck will be slowly but surely working away at this generator. We do get the infection onto Duck. If we're able to get this down, add 1, that'd be a great boon, because we still got 3 Pain Rose tokens on the board as well, by the way. Like, we got a lot of slowdown in our back pocket if we can commit to these downs, and Wretched Fate also still active on Duck, so when Duck is doing his generators, it's going to be extremely slow. Unfortunately, not quite enough range on that UVX tag to transition into a down there. We should be able to cleanse this infection on the side of Duck very reliably, but we're going for a bit of a bounce there over the power. It goes a little bit too far, not quite able to get the down. We lose the infection as well, so we're just going to be playing a little bit of mind games, going back and forth. We're vaulting back into the hallucination, which will be a down onto Duck here, and that'll interrupt the generator over by that tower. We have the painters right next to Duck here. If we're able to get it, it will interrupt the gen, which is great to see. We see Vish playing very aggressively here, going for a blind off hook as well, but I'm not too sure. Sorry, Dage going for an aggressive blind. My apologies. I don't know why I got him confused with Vish. I don't know. I thought Vish was Quan for some reason. But going for a bit of a long-range shot there onto Lemon. Lemon paying a good bit of attention. We won't be getting any long-range downs onto Lemon anytime soon. But it looks like we are playing very aggressive for this hook there. Again, UVX not quite coming through here. Lemon desperately trying to remove his infection. A quick pull there onto Duck in the background as well. We might be able to get this down here, but no, not quite. We're just out of range once more a little bit. We're trying to play around a power that we should probably break. We did try and hide ourselves a little bit to play around the UVX just a little bit more, but not quite able to get in position here to really utilize our UVX to its fullest potential, and I think Lemon's just taking this opportunity to get the hell out of dodge, but no, he's just playing this pallet even more so. Nortor not really doing too well at this pallet, and he's opting to break it now there, and he might even just need to kick this gen and walk away, but no, LB Duck and Data fully reset themselves. Now he has to ask himself, do I commit to the injured survivor here, who might be underground, being Lemon, or do I try and find Duck and Dage, who are likely doubling a different generator on the other side of the map? We find some lingering scratch marks and blood on the floor from Lemon. This is our final fresh hook here. We should be able to get the 4 fresh, and I think if we camp Lemon, actually, that's the win con. That's 9 stages, because it will be everyone, yeah, death, 4 fresh. That should be 9 stages if we just able to kill Lemon and camp him, I think, Peaches.
Yeah, that is a strategy that we can go with. We do see Dage trying to take the chase away from Lemon. Yeah, I think that is exactly how you said it is what Norder was trying to do. We were trying to commit to Lemon because, yeah, if we camp them out, that is it. That would be the set win to Norder, and of course, the overall victory to KaitOkids. So Dage trying to get in front of Norder, trying to take the chase instead of Lemon, and because at least if Dage gets hooked, they're still in the game. That would only be 3, 4, 5, 6 stages. But of course, if Lemon gets hooked, that is a fresh. And yeah, you see exactly that, staying in front of Norder here. But of course, Norder's not gonna pass up on a hook. I mean, like I said, this is the 6th hook. So if Norder really wanted to go for the Tycon, they could just sit in front of Dage and call it a day, as that would only be 3 fresh 7 stages. But we do go back over to Shaq, catching out LV Duck over here, working away at the generator, connect with the UVX, very nice shot through the window, trying to rotate over towards 6 maybe. Now we were able to swing out wide around Shaq, avoiding the UVX that was shot at the corner of Shaq, and this might be the chase that Scarlett needs. I mean, we see the reset onto Lemon here, but this is oh, just barely missed that UVX, but this is basically it. If this down comes in too fast without any gen pressure on any gens popping, this could be the win for KaitOkids. So LV Duck's really gonna have to win a lot of 50s, play with the resources that he has. He has this little pallet and rock filler in the 4 hole here, and they might be able to connect it over to Shaq potentially, but not quite able to make it to the window quite yet. So this will be an M1. They're gonna take the hit over towards 7, but there's not a lot of resources to use around that area. But Norder opts to leave and go pressure 10 because they know it's being doubled, and we go for Dage here, working away at, making their way over to 10, and this is where it gets really close. Go for the swing, and oh, just barely hit Dage, was the edge of the knife. This, with this hook, this is the Tycon. So one more hook after this will be the win for Norder, but somehow the survivors of Scarlett, every single one of them, have to get out the gate here, Swunk.
Yeah, you got to get both these games out the gate. Lemon and Duck as well, but we found Duck at the Shack. This is not good. He needs to go for both a generational chase, enough time to buy Lemon here to get the gen done, and on top of that also get out of the gate, or maybe the hatch here if we're able to circle back over to the Shack and get to the Shack. But with that window blocked and we're just kind of being forced up 1, all it takes is one well-placed, well-thought-out UVX here from Nortor, which is exactly what we've just seen to spell Duck's demise, and we're getting greedy with the Nortor teleporting over to the over here, trying to get that 4K1 result here, being once again very patient with the UVX, make sure he can secure that tag, M1 there onto Dage as well. So maybe we're able to follow it up with a bit of a UVX tag here, pulling out the power. We bounced it off the wall. Unfortunately, we didn't quite tuck it in too tightly to the pallet here, and we're just hiding ourselves so that way Lemon can't reliably get rid of the infection, but unfortunately he's already done so. So going for another infection doesn't quite work once more. Lemon going for the same play of ducking back entirely to the pallet here. He needs to play around the M1, and we do get that M1 down. That will be a 4K1 for KaitOkids. Excellent result there, taking the win off of Scarlett after Duck's very hard-fought 7 stages in the last round. But yeah, very impressive there from KaitOkids. They played phenomenally tonight so far, and that's not even saying that I don't think Scarlett played poorly as well. I think they've done well on both these sets, but maybe Demogorgon could have gone a little better. But their killer players, I think, did phenomenally and got like really solid results here, Peaches.
Yeah, no complaints here. I mean, 7 stage 3 fresh is a solid result, but like I think you pointed out beautifully.